Hello everyone and welcome to a new tutorial. In today's video we are going to use a starter kit on our tutorial Laravel application we created, and in the end we'll see like the next steps for our application and what we'll do next time. If you remember, last time we had a walkthrough of Composer, PHP unit and Xdebug, and we configured all of that. So hope you are like up to date with me, and in today's video we are going to continue where we left. I push everything, and the code it's available on my GitHub at /tutorial. For today's video, I'm gonna create a separate branch, and that will be like the working from now on. Each video will have its own branch, so you can like follow in line with me. And if we at any point maybe like is today with the starter kit, we want to switch to another kit. So for example, today we are going to use Blade, since no one commented with what they want to see used. But in the future, who knows, maybe we'll have a tutorial with React or Vue or some other um, technologies that appear meanwhile. So I'm gonna go creating a new branch, and the branch will be let's go start and then Blade, because this will be like a Blade. And then um, in order to be able to push, like I told you in last videos, we need to eval an agent and add the key to the agent. So evaluating an agent, add the key to agent, and then we are able to push. This branch does not exist on origin, so I set the upstream to it and push it. Now we are good to go. So I said I want to use Breeze and Braid. In order to do so, um, we have to install a Laravel Breeze as a dev dependency. So not in here, we have to exec the container. And usually when I start working in a new day, or yeah, from time to time, I like to keep my dependencies up to date. And in order to do so, I run Composer and npm update. So I run those two commands, and then I start my day. As you can see, there are some updates since our last time. So did all of that, npm updated as well, and then adding Laravel Breeze as a dev dependency. And following the steps to Breeze and Braid, we have Breeze installed, but this is not actually for Breeze and Blade, it's for all of them, because we will see in a second why. So running this Breeze install will give me some questions. Which stack I want to install? I want Blade, so I enter 0. Then if I want dark mode support, I do yes. And if I want PEST instead of PHP unit, I do no, because I like PHP unit. So this will install the starter kit scaffold folding for Breeze and Blade, and we'll add some things in here, rerunning all of that. I'm gonna start with Composer JSON, and in here the only thing that was added was Laravel Breeze, but in the package JSON there were added some more packages. So Tailwind Forms, Alpine Autoprefixer, PostCSS, and Tailwind CSS. I'm not sure if you are familiar with Tailwind CSS. It's like pretty popular, or it's starting to become popular. I'm not fully known it, but I like it. Let's say I like it very much, and this is what we are going to use. Obviously, if you like want to see some things, we might install just to see how to use, how to install, and how to configure. That will be what's like in our dependencies. and then some configurations like auto prefixer, like post CSS to use Tailwind and auto prefixer, Tailwind config to use like Nunito as font family, where to take content from, and plug in the forms plugin. The Vite config wasn't updated actually, it was only like rearranged, so nothing changed. And that will be um, as a matter of configs added. We'll see in a second what's like else in there. Going back, we have to do migrate, npm, and npm run dev. So I'm gonna do PHP artisan migrate. Nothing to migrate. I'm gonna do fresh just to be sure, and using seed command. And then we have npm install, but since I told you I like to keep things updated, I'm gonna do npm update. And then the last thing will be npm run dev, but if I look like our package JSON, dev it's vite, so that will mean we'll start and keep this up and running. Okay, let's do that. So if I go to our tutorial.local.com, we have, the application before installing all that was more or less like this. If I refresh now, I have login register in the corner. Um, let's register an account. So if, okay, that's like nice. Something must have happened. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me actually run npm run build. I think it might be something wrong with the dev. Yep. I think there is something wrong in the starter kit with the dev. We are going to figure out what, but not in today's video. Let me register an account. So I'm gonna put here something like that. Let me use a password, a strong password. So the register is provided by the starter kit. I'm gonna show in a second everything that was added in the starter kit. I just want to like um, create an account. But no, actually, let me show you what's in the starter kit and then create an account. So if I go to the code, I already show you in matter of composer and package dependencies. The one thing that we want to do before we do everything else is go to our user model, and let me make a little bigger, and the comment must verify email, because we want our users to be verified, and add the must verify email as implements for the class user. So like this, users needs to have email verified in order to access some routes. And if we want to have restriction to those routes, as we can see in what um, the starter kit did here, he added this verified middleware. That means users unverified can access uh, whatever it's like within this group, which is like, oh, it's not actually a group, it's like a get on dashboard. But yeah, users that are unverified can access this dashboard route. We are going to see in a second. So this is what changed. So previously was this get index, and now was changed to all that. Some authentication routes about profile, update, edit, and destroy, and then a new set of routes for authenticating that are register, login, forgot password, um, reset password, and email verification, resend email verification, and logout, and yeah, all of those, all of that routes in here, and obviously with the attached controllers. So in here in the controllers we have profile controller and all that routes for authentication. So we have all of that out of the box. Going back in here to the register. So I registered, I because I added that must verify email, it redirected me to verify email. And because the dashboard it's against like verify email, if I go like this, going back, I'm log out, I'm like logged in, but if I want to access dashboard, it already make to verify email. Last time we configured mail trap, if you remember correctly. Now in my mail trap, I got my verify email um, email, and this header, footer, and the content can be like adjusted and change as we want. I'm gonna show you in maybe future videos how we can edit these email templates and add our own styles. If I go back here and I go recent verification email, um, let's say we didn't maybe receive our email, maybe it's in spam, or we hit that button again. So a new verification link was sent. If I hit this like multiple times, sometimes that fast, at some point we'll see we no longer receive that because there is a throttle on how many emails can be sent. I'm not really sure if it's like in here. Yeah, so 6 per minute. I believe that's like the throttle. So if we go in here, we have all that verify email, and if I hit this, will provide me access to the dashboard because now email is verified. Now I have access to profile as well. I had before, but since I didn't had the dashboard, I didn't knew the profile was accessible. In here, we can update name, email, password, or maybe delete the account, and that will be like everything in matter of what's installed. This starter kit provide also a set of tests that are feature. So if we want to run the test, there are two ways to run the test. First way will be artisan test that will show you a nice output. I'm not really sure what's with those outputs because maybe the test, I don't know, got altered or something happened. It shouldn't output that, but something similar to this. There are like 24 tested, and in each one there is an info. If we open the profile test, for example, all right, we have some assertion and some tests in here, and this the name of the test, it's what appear in here. Sorry about that. Okay, and that's like with tests. These all tests are features. We'll see in this tutorial how to write unit as well. We'll get there eventually. So now we have all that. I told you there is another way to run unit test, and that is to vendor. So we'll have vendor being PHP unit will run test also in feature and unit. We have 24 tests in here as well and 56 assertions. This test can be like run with some filters. I mean, if we want only a class, we can do maybe filter and so on. It's the same for the PHP artisan test. I'm not getting too much in detail right now. When we'll create some unit test, I'll show you how, and we'll maybe create some more feature test as well. So that will be about tests. We have like everything in there. What happened in here as well, there were created some requests. We'll talk about those as well in like future videos. For now, I think that that will be like all. We in the resources, yeah, like I told you, there were like added a bunch of blades for everything that was in there, and the GS was updated to include these new things that were in here, and the CSS to include Tailwind, like components, base, and utilities. The plan, I think that's like all for today's video. Let me push everything. So yeah, this is like everything that was modified. So adding all that to a commit, and this will be our commit for reference for our new video next time. Okay, start blade setup. Okay. Okay, the plan for next video is to add languages and how to like use languages, profile, uh, translations, and everything that. So how can you have, let's say, the language in root or maybe not for the default language, and all of that. So the language setup for a Laravel application, and also maybe start some database, but I database models, I don't promise anything on that because I'm not really sure how long the video will be. I want to keep this fairly short. And yeah, I guess our application is still open for suggestion. So if you want to see something built, I'm uh, I'm waiting for suggestion. So far, there is only one suggestion in a couple of videos ago, but let's see. The more suggestion, the more good for me and you, because you'll see what you want to see developed in there. So thanks for watching, and till next time. Happy coding!